Holy jumping bingo bango. We got a great guest for us today here at the Low Payment Kings Monroe Superstore premiere event. Mickey Redmond, longtime broadcaster for the Detroit Red Wings and former superstar for the Detroit Red Wings. Hall of Famer. And we're just honored to have you here today, and a very great client and friend of the Mahalics now, driving this new Ram 2500. So, Mick, I'll let you introduce yourself and just tell us your highlight of your playing career and your broadcasting career.
Well, let's start with I brought the sunshine with me. I guess it rained here most of the day, and we were due for a little bit of sunshine, and good for you guys for having the sunshine and having your open house here today. There's been a lot of career, whether it be broadcasting or playing, highlights that I've had over now going into 47 years behind the microphone. And I must say, you and I talked a little bit before we started, that it's a different game, same game played differently. The kids are wonderful to be around. And after all that time, I couldn't ask for more to be on the bench in the third period and still be a big part of Red Wing hockey. And we're going, by the way, going into our 100th anniversary, started in 1926, and with the Falcons and the Cougars, and it's going to be a great 18 months leading up. So good to be here. Nice to be driving a brand new Ram, and we'll talk a little bit about that as we go along here.
You talked about the game being a little bit different now versus back in your day. I think it was 70 to 76 when you started for the Detroit Red Wings. First player in Red Wings history to score 50 goals. Do I have that right?
You got it.
That's a good stat there. And Mickey was a phenomenal player, but I think has maybe eclipsed himself as a broadcaster. So just really honored to have you here. I grew up listening to your broadcast. I got into hockey, listening to Mickey and watching those cup runs through the 90s. Was just it was a big influence on my life. So, and one of my best friends growing up at that time was Dominic Shiner. Shiner got a shot to play a little bit this year, and his son got to watch him play some NHL games, and seeing him in warm-up, seeing his son, and that relationship has been a real pleasure for me. I would just love to hear you talk a little bit about what advice Dom should be giving to his kid as he's coming up, and maybe some advice that your dad gave you. Not sure if those two things are going to be the same the way the game's changed, but if you could touch on that part.
Yeah, it was great to see Dominic get an opportunity. I'd met him a couple of times out in Grand Rapids at some charity events. He's not the biggest guy, but boy, he's got a big heart to play the game, and as you can see when he does play it, nobody's too big to go up against him physically. He doesn't mind dropping the gloves, and he did well when he came up here. And I could tell he was really excited about the whole thing, just to put the Detroit Red Wing jersey on him. We always talk about it's not the name on the back, it's the crest on the front. And I know Dominic was very pleased and elated to be playing in Little Caesars Arena, having his family there like that. And what a great young man he is. As I said, I knew him before, and then when I got to spend a little more personal time with him when he was here this year, it was great. He's as nice as he seemed to be when I had met him before.
Beautiful. And another great friend and client of the Low Payment Kings and Monroe Superstore. We've helped Dom into multiple vehicles as his family has grown and continues to grow. Another great client that we've had in the past with the Red Wings crest is Gordie Howe. So we had Gordie out here a few years ago, and we'd love to hear Mickey's favorite Gordie story, and we'll leave that up for now, because I'm sure we could talk about Gordie for a long time.
Well, there's no question about that. But you being a goaltender, you'll appreciate this story. Gordie and I were on the ice at the hash marks together with a goaltender in the net after practice, both right-handed shots. Did you catch with your left hand?
Yep.
Okay. So we're standing there looking, and he says to me, "What do you see on the left side by the catching glove. And I said, well, maybe 10 or 12 inches. And he said, now grab the end of your stick and move over behind the puck and the blade. Now what do you see? I went, wow, there's about 18, 20 inches over there. He said, you shoot the puck like that, they're not going to stop it. And I said, that was the greatest advice I could get from the great Gordie Howe. It was amazing. It's like, so it's not what we see going on you, it's what the puck and the blade sees. So a little bit of trickery for a shooter on you guys, and we could use all we get.
That's fantastic. That's a great tip for young goalies out there. You line up to the puck, not the bottom.
Save more with the Low Payment Kings at the Monroe Superstore.
This week, drive home in Motor Trend's Truck of the Year. The 2025 Ram 1500 Crew Cab Bighorn 4x4 4-door for only $228 a month. Or upgrade to a Ram 1500 Laramie Crew Cab 4x4 4-door with leather, remote start, and a whole lot more for only $328 a month. That's right, only $328 a month on a short-term lease. The Low Payment Kings have a tremendous selection of Ram trucks.
Visit us today at MonroeSuperstore.com.